Here's how people are responding to Trump pulling out of Syria. Who is she? She's a conservative blogger at the Washington Post. She's an MSNBC contributor, so she's super smart. Oh, she's also a friend of Israel. One explanation for idiotic move on Syria, another Putin payoff. There's no one in the establishment media that is pro-peace? Nobody? There's another. Today, President Trump handed 2 substantial victories to Russia, withdrawing U.S. troops from Syria and lifting sanctions on 2 Russian firms run by friends of Putin. Russia has. Isn't it funny how they always, whoever is doing business and is Russian, they're a friend of Putin's. That's like saying, Bill Gates, friend of Trump's. Warren Buffett, friend of Obama. Like, what the F? Russian firms run by friends of Putin. Oh, Jesus. Russia has clearly gained. Question for the White House. What has the U.S. gained? How about we're getting out of a fucking war that we shouldn't be in the first place? What are we doing in Syria? Jim? What are we doing in Syria? What the F are we doing in Syria? I bet no one talks about what we're doing there, why we're there. I went over to CNN. They're doing all kinds of videos. It's all bad, all negative. This is a bad thing. You can't have. I told you that the establishment news will always be for war, and that's why they had to smear us here. They had to try to discredit us because we tell the truth about war. They'll never tell you the truth about war. CNN, Wolf Blitzer, Jim, what's his name? It doesn't matter. Jim Acosta, Jake Tapper. There it is. Senator King, ISIS will use Syria withdrawal as recruitment. GOP. So I guess we got to stay in Syria because if we ever leave, then ISIS will use it as recruitment. So we have to stay forever.
Question. Why are we in Syria?
Again, no one will tell me. Here's another video. This is all in the same day. GOP lawmaker slams Trump's Syria withdrawal decision. Here's another one. Aaron Burnett, Trump giving Putin exactly what he wants. You want to watch? Let's watch. Let's watch Aaron Burnett. She's out front. Which apparently she's taking a lot of blows to the head being out front because she reports like this. This is amazing. This is amazing that people ever wag their finger at this show or other shows and say they're not professional enough. This is exactly what we're talking about. Watch this.
Out front tonight, President Trump kowtowing to Vladimir Putin, giving Putin exactly what he wants.
That is stunning. She's talking about the president of the United States being a traitor to our country. She's saying he's she's red baiting him right at the lead to her news show. She's red baiting the president. He's giving everything. That's not reporting. That's propaganda right there. There it is. That's fake news. And now you know why it lands when Trump says it. Come on, that's a little stunning, right?
Well, it's been pretty depressing the entire cycle because when you're, because I've been wanting to keep up with everything. And instead of being able to find, okay, so how's the withdrawal going to work? What's the process? What does this all mean?
Right.
How do we go through this? It's all just like catnip for Trump opposition or the opposite, just singing his praises. And it's like, when we're getting out of wars, I don't really give a shit who's in the White House. I'm just happy we're getting out of the wars. And I want to know how it's going to work. Like the mechanics of it.
I'm with you.
Ron, why do you love Putin? That's all I heard.
Who is Putin's body?
I win this round.
So let's hear some more. This is painful. Listen to.
In 2 major ways. First, lifting sanctions off 2 big Russian firms. And second, announcing that he's going to pull American troops out of Syria. Something Putin wants more than almost any other thing. It could not get better for Putin today. And Trump, in a new White House video tonight,
is a news person. That's a news person calling the president of the United States a traitor. That's what she's doing. This is what Putin wants more than, and overacting too, by the way. That's not doing the news. That's overacting. Now you sound like a Jagoff nightclub comedian.
Is this the same network that hired Lewandowski?
That's the same network that hired Lewandowski.
Oh, okay.
That's what Putin. Oh, was he happy about that, Putin? Oh, he wanted nothing more from CNN than to hire Lewandowski, and they did.
Sticking by his Syria announcement, and he did it on a video. He didn't come out and speak to the nation. He didn't answer questions on the decision. He's not answering questions.
She doesn't go, what does this mean? Why are we in Syria? How much money have we spent there? How many people have died? How many soldiers are even there?
How many troops are going to get to come home?
How many are going to come? Nothing. Nothing. She doesn't do anything, explain to you anything about where Syria. I bet she couldn't even find Syria on a map. So now I want you to listen to her introduce this clip of Trump, and you try to tell me if this isn't the exact thing that Sean Hannity sounded like Sean Hannity introducing a clip of Barack Obama with his shoes up on the desk or wearing a tan suit. You tell me, listen to her. So if you're a Trump voter or a Republican or an independent and you tune into this newscast and you see what she's just being ridiculous, this is gratuitous. This is the kind of stuff that I remember it sounded like when Sean Hannity would talk about Barack Obama. Well, listen to what she says.
Something Putin wants more than almost any other thing. It could not get better for Putin today. And Trump, in a new White House video tonight, sticking by his Syria announcement, and he did it on a video. He didn't come out and speak to the nation. He didn't answer questions on the decision. He's not answering questions from Congress. No, he hid away and put out a little video.
He hid away, put out a little video. What is that about? Was it 3 feet tall? How big was the video? Was it what's a big video? 5 feeter? 5 footer? And put out a little bit. That's gross that she did it like that, right?
Yes.
And he put out a little video talking about how he's not going to do more war.
You know, I think it's a great example of objective journalism, right? She's so objective through this whole
It's unbelievable
story.
that she did that. Okay, here, and then she throws it to Trump. Here we go.
Here's a clip.
And we have won against ISIS. We've beaten them, and we've beaten them badly. We've taken back the land, and now it's time for our troops to come back home.
Okay, well, he can say it as much as he wants to say it, but
I'm not going to like it. I'm telling you right now, he can say it as much as he wants, but
He can say it as much as he wants. He's the president. He's the commander-in-chief. If he says they're coming home, they're coming home.
So everybody needs to be clear. She wants war.
And by the way,
she doesn't care if your soldier is out there right now.
No.
okay, well, he can say it as much as he wants to say it. But again, he said that without taking questions from anyone or talking to anybody because he didn't want to answer the questions. And his own party...
What do you mean he can say that as much as he wants? And then he can do it.
Question, Aaron, do you know why we're in Syria? Can you answer any of those questions? Why we're in Syria? No.
So usually there's a but that comes after that. When you say, well, you could say that as much as you want, but there was no but. She said, he can say that as much as he wants, and he's not answering questions. And but there's no but. There was no but that came.
What questions does she want to ask him?
You tell me.
I mean, that's what I'm curious to know. Like, what questions do you want to ask? Do you want to ask him about the process? Do you want to ask him about what's going on? Do you want to ask him about...
Well, let's talk about that process. There has been no process in what we're doing throughout the world.
Steph, there's no
been
process.
no process. They don't go through Congress. It's just because after 9/11, they can do whatever they want to do.
Well, in fact, they did go through Congress. Barack Obama, when he said that
I stand corrected.
We're gonna ask Congress if we should bomb Syria. Do you remember that? We're gonna put it to a vote, which was a mistake because they put it to a vote, and Congress voted against intervening in Syria. And guess what? We're there anyway. We got about 2,000. Some people say 2,000. Some people say 4,000, 5,000. We got thousands of soldiers in Syria, and we've been bombing the hell out of it. So we voted against it. The people don't want this. Barack Obama did it anyway. So we're not even supposed to be there. We're there anyway. No one even talks about that Barack Obama did put it to a vote. And then he went against the will of the people and put troops in there anyway.
Well, Jimmy, you can say that all you like.
No one ever says that.
Livid.
Now we're dramatically less safe. This is an Obama-like move.
It's a terrible mistake, and unfortunately, I think we're going to pay a price for it if it's not reversed.
I doubt there's anybody in the Republican caucus in the Senate that just isn't stunned by this precipitous decision that just like you woke up in the morning and made it.
This is exactly why the people who voted for him voted for him. They wanted him to do this. They want him to befuddle all the establishment Republicans like Lindsey Graham and Corker and Marco Rubio, little Marco Rubio. They want him to make them go, I can't believe he's doing this. What? Ending a war? You see what people get outraged against in Washington, D.C.? You see what the news... She's outraged. She's outraged. How dare Trump end a war that the American people voted for us not to go into? How dare Trump do that? Like, she doesn't even mention that the American people don't want this. None of those people do. She doesn't even remind you of how we got into Syria. Barack Obama going against the will of the people.
That shock and anger again from his own party, coming in response to Trump's Twitter announcement that he's going to withdraw those U.S. troops fighting ISIS in Syria. So the original tweet this morning, quote, and to announce, we have defeated ISIS in Syria. My only reason for being there during the Trump presidency. Let's just be clear. He announced that he's pulling U.S. troops out via tweet. Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger, who fought in the war on terror in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Boy, that really upsets people that he tweeted it out. He should have put it in a press release that someone else could tweet out. That's what would happen. He would give you a press release. You know what you guys would do? You'd immediately tweet it out. Breaking, President Trump gave us a press release. We're going to tweet it out. He did it in a tweet. Like, this is all gross, gratuitous, stupid stuff.
And I think it's pretty reflexive of basically all the corporate media's coverage. Like none of it was issue based at all. And that's just how they cover war. None of this is issue based.
None of this is.
It's like, yeah.
She hasn't spoken about one issue so far.
Mm-hmm.
Responded to the president's tweet, quote, this is simply not true. In fact, a Middle Eastern leader in the midst of this fight recently told me this summer that Islamic terror groups, including al-Qaeda, are regrouping and rebuilding. Something the president...
Oh, some guy told me. Some guy told me last summer. That ISIS is rebuilt. You know why? Because we funded them. You ever report that, Aaron, that we funded ISIS? You ever report that? No, she never reported that. We created them. How about you ever report that we created al-Qaeda? You ever report that we're supporting al-Nusra? You ever ask people, you ever ask anyone, why are we in Syria?
I wonder if she has ever even gone to Syria to report why we're in Syria.
This is why progressives chant CNN sucks. This is why conservatives chant CNN sucks. You know why? Because CNN sucks. They're fucking horrible. And you know what? It was one of the proudest moments in my life when they decided to smear us at this show for telling the truth about war. Because this is who they are. These people are garbage people. She is a garbage reporter. Garbage. Garbage. This is the same woman who during Occupy Wall Street says, what do they even want anyway? I don't know. Why don't you walk the 35 fucking feet from your office and ask them what they want? That's who this is. This is why we have a show, and I don't want to be in that fucking club. Here she brings on a congressman. Watch this.
Question, Congressman, of course, is this issue about Russia. I mean, this is what Vladimir Putin wanted. He has made, that is not a secret. I mean, clearly, this is a win for Vladimir Putin tonight.
Well, one of the things you have to recognize, of course, is that the whole reason why Russia is there is the failure of the Obama administration to appropriately handle the weapons of mass destruction, the use of chemical weapons that gave the opportunity for Russia to step in. And we did not have troops that were there for the purposes of counting Russia. They were there for the purposes of defeating ISIS. However, there's no question that the benefit of troops on the ground was certainly a counterbalance to Assad, the Assad regime, which we were opposed to, Russia's
Well, which is it? Is it ISIS or Assad? So the troops on the ground were a counterbalance to Assad. I thought they were fighting ISIS, which is also who Assad is fighting. So what is it? So we're fighting Assad and ISIS who are fighting each other, and we're fighting both of them? Well, if we're fighting Assad, wouldn't that help ISIS? And if we're fighting ISIS, wouldn't that help Assad? Do you see how this is all bullshit? This war is complete bullshit.
It even started off on the wrong foot. She's like, the big question's here about Putin. No, it isn't.
No, it isn't.
No, right. Swing and a miss right away. No, it's not.
Influence and, of course, Iran's influence. All of those go right to the issue, of course, that these troops were in Syria without congressional approval.
Wow.
So now he he makes a boo-boo, and you see how it causes her pain, right? Oh, don't tell people that. We're not supposed to tell people a fact.
Troops were in Syria without congressional approval. They're still operating under the mandate of al-Qaeda and defeating al-Qaeda. And then, of course,
I understand the points you're making.
I understand the point. Stop it. You're bringing some facts in here that kind of undermine what I'm saying. Did you see her do that? I'm not making that up. She just did it. I get it. They're not supposed to be there. All right.
We don't want the people to know that.
We don't want the people to know that. Dummy, what are you saying that for?
They're still operating under the mandate of al-Qaeda and defeating al-Qaeda. And then, of course,
I understand
which
the points
is the
you're
fall of
making.
ISIS.
And look, a lot of this is fair. But I mean, I just am getting at the bottom line.
A lot of this is fair, but I don't want to talk about it.
Well, they're just they're mixing up the tribes they subscribe to in this particular case.
Yes.
That guy is just like, wait a second, there's something else I can say bad about Obama, and I just get to say something bad about Obama no matter what without any critical thought. And then she's like, wait a second, we're both on the side of endless war, though. You're mixing it up here.
Yes.
Don't bring that up now, because that defeats our endless war narrative. And he's like, oopsies.
That's exactly what she did.
That's exactly what transpired between
Please
those
don't
two.
bring up that they're not supposed to be there and they don't have congressional authorization. That screws up my pro-war mongering right now. I'm not even going to show you any more of this. Honest to God, I can't. I can't. It's crushing me. Because, and guess what? Guess who the Young Turks got it right? The Young Turks are supporting Trump pulling out. In fact, it's been the progressive point of view my whole life that we stop the wars in the Middle East, especially. That's been the point of view of progressive. That's been the progressive point of view my whole life. So MSNBC apparently can't find a fucking progressive because every report I'm seeing on Twitter says they haven't had an anti-war voice on their cable show all day. So there you go. There's Aaron Burnett, a garbage reporter, one of the fucking worst in the world. But there are some authors who I respect who will say the CNN does a good job.
She's really up in arms that he tweeted this out and that he didn't go to Congress and he didn't make a statement. Can you imagine, like, he didn't, speak in front of a group of reporters who would keep saying, well, why don't you want to stay in war?
Why don't you want to stay in war?
Why don't you want to stay in nonstop war?
Vladimir Putin. And now you know why people get their news from YouTube. Our next live Jimmy Dore show is February 1st in Burbank, California. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a list of all our live shows, and please become a premium member if you can. Become a patron. It's the way we support this show because they're coming at us, and we give you bonus. We give you hours of bonus material every week. Check it out. Become a patron. And if you can, make sure you're still subscribed. They unsubscribe people every day. I know it sounds crazy. It only takes a second. Please make sure and click that bell when you subscribe so they'll send you a notice